One of my favorite things to do in Mario 64 is to ride around on the Koopa shell. In my last ROM hack video, I said that I wish there was an entire game that was just this, and somebody in the comments told me there already is an entire game like this. So in today's video, we're going to be playing Mario Go Skateboarding. It's a ROM hack that replaces the Koopa shell with a skateboard and gives us 5 skate parks to shred around while we complete some objectives for stars. And we'll not just be completing this game by getting all 14 stars, but we'll be getting all the achievements in this game using Retro Achievements, a website that adds achievement support like you'd find in modern games to all your favorite retro games and ROM hacks. There's only 14 achievements here to collect, so I was expecting this to be just a short and sweet ROM hack that we can knock out in a day, but what I wasn't expecting was how surprisingly wholesome this game is. All the parks that you play on are inspired by real-world skate parks that the creator of this ROM hack grew up with, located in the city of Bogota, Colombia. And as you talk to the various characters, we get little lore dumps about their life and their experience with skateboarding. I signed up for a quick and fun achievement hunting session, but ended up spending more time talking to all the characters and just seeing how much love and passion the creator has for skateboarding. To get all 14 achievements, we'll have to collect all 14 stars, complete some speedrun challenges along the way, discover all the secrets, and our final achievement will require us to complete the entire game without wiping out. So we got a few challenges, but for the most part, this was looking like a pretty easy set. If you're new to the channel, my name's Nostalgic Juice, I play retro games and ROM hacks just like this, and I'm on a quest to get all their retro achievements. So if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you subscribe because I'm uploading a video just like this every week. With that said, let's strap on our helmets and go shredding through Mario Go Skateboarding. We start things off in a small tutorial park where we're greeted by a few NPCs who we can talk to learn about how things work in this ROM hack. I'll be covering the basics when we get there, but I had to show off how cute this little bug guy is. We can get a skateboard by hitting these blocks or by just finding one laying around, although not this one, that's like a guy that you can talk to. Gameplay wise, the skateboarding is exactly like riding a Koopa shell in the regular game. There's no Tony Hawk style tricks or special techniques to it, so the gameplay should feel familiar if you've ever played Mario 64. As you explore and talk to all the characters, some of them will have challenges for us that we can complete to earn stars. For our first one, we have to hit this blue coin switch and then grab all the coins before they disappear. Oh, I didn't get them all. Oh, you can just go through the rails? Okay, well, it's good to know you can go through the rails. No! 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 Oh, so close. Oh, okay. That's fine. There we go. There we go! Easy. First try. Wait! Whoa. Okay, thank God there's an invisible wall there. Once we're done hanging out in the tutorial level, we can jump into a warp pipe to check out the other levels. So we hop into the pipe to check out the Toberin skate park. Located in the north part of the city, across the street from a school, which makes it the first skate park for many of the kids in the city, including the creator of this ROM hack. Our first challenge is to collect all the coins in the park, which is easy enough, but I made a mistake and grabbed this coin last, which spawned the star in a difficult to reach spot. Since the skateboard uses Koopa shell physics, we can't just jump off the ramp like you would think. We have to time our jumps right as we're on the tiny sliver of flat ground at the top of the ramp. But even that wasn't really working, so I thought I could just ditch the skateboard and jump for it, but that did not end up working. Okay, you know what? Screw the— oh, God, I died! What? Huh? You die? Do I gotta do all that again? I sure do. Yeah, I did not pay attention at the start when they were explaining how things work. All the surfaces in the skate parks have the same properties as quicksand, so if we're not on a board, we'll die. That only applies to the main skate park areas. We can still walk around the rest of the level to talk to NPCs, so we had to grab all the coins again, but honestly that was fine because it gave me a chance to make sure we picked a more convenient coin for the last one, so we can get our second star. Our next star we get from rounding up all these Toad kids who were left there by irresponsible parents. Which is an actual issue with skate parks, where parents will just dump their kids to run around but not actually skate, which causes the people skating not be able to use the park without risk of injuring them. I've seen plenty of those Karen YouTube videos where parents will actually get upset that the people are skating around their kids when they're literally at a skate park. So we round up all 8 of them for our next star, but for retro achievements, we'll have to collect them all within 13 seconds. And that just took a little trial and error to figure out and memorize where they all are, and after a few tries, we got a fast enough time to pop the achievement. Then we talk to this Boo who wants us to replicate his best jumps from back when he had legs. So we'll have to jump around and grab all these floating Boos around the skate bowl. And once we grab all those, we get another star. Each of the parks has a secret area to discover, and you're supposed to find a little bug character who will tell you where to find them, but I was just wandering around aimlessly and happened to stumble into it. And after admiring the cheeked up Among Us graffiti on the wall, we wall jump our way up to the top to grab our last star, getting us the achievement for clearing the level. But finding that little bug character who tells us where the secret areas are is also an achievement, so we had to go back in to find him. There's one of these in every level, and it'll be the only moth that's not flying. And once we find him, we get another achievement. And now that I realize there's one of these in every level, I went back to the first tutorial area to find this other one for another achievement. He told me to jump from the edge of the ramp near Maglor, and I'm a fake Nintendo fan who did not know who that was, so shout out to my Twitch chat for telling me that Maglor is this little blue guy from the Kirby games, who's graffitied on the halfpipe. And once we jumped off him, we found the next hidden area, which is a cute little cabana hangout area for all the little green bug guys. So we grab our next star there, which gets us another achievement for finding both the stars in the first park. Our next park is Fontanar, the biggest skate park in Bogota. This park has lots of big ramps and rails for us to grind. And just like the last park, our first star we get by collecting all the coins, which is just a really good way to explore the level and get our bearings. And don't worry, I made sure to pick an easy coin as our last one this time, so our star spawns in an easy spot. For our next star, this shy guy wants us to give all of his friends high fives, so we'll have to jump on all the ramps and collect the shy guys scattered throughout the park. You might have picked up on the fact that all the NPCs we talked to so far are enemies in the Mario games. And while I was looking for the shy guys, I talked to this guy who explained that this was a design choice by the creator, because skaters are often looked down on and there's a bit of a stigma that only bad kids are skateboarders. I don't know if this is still true to this day. I'm not really a skater, so I'm not part of that community, but I do know my parents hated skateboarding when I was a kid. So it's kind of cute that the creator made all of the skaters enemies, but they're all super nice and supportive when you talk to them. After we find our last shy guy and get a star, our next one will come from finding all these wheel bearings that are on each of the railings. So we'll have to grind the rails, which I say sarcastically because you can't actually grind in this game, so it's just skating on a thin railing. Which, you know, now that I think about it, is technically what grinding is, so that works, I guess. They're easy enough to find, and once we get them all, we get ourselves another star. But for retro achievements, we have to get them all in under 32 seconds. That took me a few tries because some of the rails are a little tricky. If we don't hit them just right, we'll wipe out and have to start over. The rail I had the most trouble with were these two on the staircase, but it just took a little practice and eventually I was able to get them. And once we got them all quick enough, we got our next achievement. All that's left now is to track down the moth at the back of the skate park for our next achievement, and he told us where to find the hidden area next to the center of the park. And so we grabbed the star in there, and then we had to collect that star that spawned after we got all the wheel bearings, and with that, we got our last achievement for clearing the level. Our next park is our biggest skate park, and as usual, our first goal is to collect all the coins, and there were a lot of them, so that took a while. And I bonked the wall toward the end and wiped out, so I had to do that twice. But we eventually found them all for our first star. For the next one, we had to find all these little green guys hidden throughout the level. And they're tucked away really well, usually right next to a wall, so we had to come at them from weird angles to grab them without hitting a wall and wiping out. There's 5 of these guys in total to find, and they're all pretty well hidden, but once we track them all down, we get another star. Then we have to track down all these soul bubbles. There's 8 of these guys, and they aren't as hidden as the green guys, but we have to get them within 32 seconds for another retro achievement. They all are sort of in a line, so finding them isn't the hard part, but to get them in 32 seconds, you pretty much have to be going at full speed at all times. Which isn't the hardest thing to do, but I did mess up on the last jump and have to start over. In hindsight, I should have maybe gotten those ones first and then did the line backwards, but I was able to get it in under 32 seconds on our next try to get the achievement. We track down the bug in the middle grassy area between the 2 skate parks, and he tells us the hidden area is behind a box module on the outer edges of the skate park. And this one was the hardest one to find. At first, I just ran around the outer edges of the park, but I didn't find it. What he meant was the inner outer edge of the park, so that one was a little bit tricky to find, but we found it, and once we grabbed the star, we got an achievement for clearing the level. And that was our final star in the game. So with all 14 stars, we can now access the final skate park, El Korito, a neighborhood built on the mountains where people like to skate downhill really fast. And I was so happy to hear that they used Bomberman Hero music for the soundtrack on this one. You guys know that's one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games, so that was a really nice surprise. We don't have any extra challenges for this one, it's just a credits roll, and once we make it down to the end of the park, we get an achievement for making it to the bottom, and we've officially completed the ROM hack. But we still have 2 achievements left to go. The first one we can knock out really quick by finding a hidden sign in the first area, and we found that by climbing these ledges on the back of the half pipe. And once we interacted with that sign, we got the achievement, so shout out to Flimple Slips. For our final achievement, we'll have to complete the game again, but this time we have to get all 14 stars without wiping out. Which sounded really difficult at first, but it's actually easier than it sounds. Wiping out just means that we can't bonk a wall and fall off our board. We can still die or manually ditch the skateboard by crouching, and neither of those count as a wipeout. So really this one is just about patience. If you feel like you're about to wipe out, just hit the crouch button to ditch the board. You'll probably die and have to restart whatever star you were working on, but it won't cancel the achievement. And by now we've gotten the hang of things, so I was able to get this achievement without too much trouble. If you wanted to do it optimally, it would be best to start with the hardest stars first and then work your way down to the easier ones. And since we're not doing any speedrun challenges, we can slow down and take our time getting the more difficult stars. I did save this blue coin star for last for some reason, which I shouldn't have done because that one's actually one of the more difficult stars. And it's one where it's really easy to bonk a wall and wipe out. And there's no way to cheese this one, you do need the board to get them all in time. So I just took my time making sure to crouch to ditch the skateboard if I felt I wasn't gonna make it, just to avoid bonking a wall by accident. And eventually I got the run, and once we grabbed that final star, we got our achievement. And with that, we've officially mastered Mario Goes Skateboarding, making this my 24th mastery on retro achievements. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, it's actually my 25th mastery on retro achievements. Because after many attempts, we also managed to get the perfect run achievement for Smash Brothers on the same stream that we beat this game. So we got 2 masteries in one stream. If you want to see that perfect run, that's up on the VOD channel, I'll have it linked in the description. This was a really fun ROM hack that ended up giving us more than we expected. The highlight was surprisingly all of the dialogue from the NPCs, it just adds so much charm to the ROM hack. And of course the gameplay was also a lot of fun, and for the most part it was a pretty easy set. So this could be a very quick retro achievement mastery if you're looking for another badge to add to your profile. It only took me about 2 hours for me to master it, so it's a fun game that you can complete in one sitting. And that brings us to the end of today's video, gamers. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, as always, likes and comments are always appreciated. Those engagements really help the channel grow and reach new people. If you don't know what to comment, tell me your favorite flavor of ice cream. If you want to watch the full, unedited gameplay of this ROM hack, you can find it up on the VOD channel a few days after this video goes live. And if you want to hang out while we hunt these achievements live, then feel free to follow me over on Twitch, where I try to stream once or twice a week. And of course, for all my fellow Retro Achievement hunters, you can feel free to follow me on Retro Achievements if you want a sneak peek at what games I'm currently working on. And finally, I have one more thing to add to the plugs. A bunch of you guys have asked me to make a Discord server in the past, and I wasn't really into it at first because I'm not really even a big social media guy, and I kind of just don't like Discord all that much, to be honest, but after thinking about it for a while, I thought it would be a fun way to connect with you guys, especially now that I'm trying to stream more often in 2026. So I decided to go ahead and make a server, so if that's something you're interested in, I'll have an invite link in the description. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.